Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the chart room. The chart room is now open, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to chat all things Gemini New Moon related and how exciting it is that this new moon, I feel like it's coming at the right time. Of course, everything is divine timing, but this particular new moon, especially it being a new moon at the very last degrees of Gemini as well, it paints actually more of an ending than a beginning of some sort. New moons typically mean we're planting new seeds. In Gemini, we're talking about communication, a conversation, connection, connecting all the dots in some way, shape, or form. But at the last degrees, and the tarot card associated to this final degree of Gemini, I mean, it's 24 degrees, but it's in the last decan of Gemini. And the tarot card associated with it is the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords in the tarot is pretty intense in the sense of there's this figure lying on the ground, all these 10 swords impaled in the back of them, right? It feels as though we're being stabbed in the back, right? I think of Gemini as being the ruler of information, and how many of us, we carry ideas, thoughts, opinions, belief impaled in our back. The pain surrounding those stories and narratives, right? As if they were our own. But who truly put these swords there? Who actually impaled and planted and placed these ideas? And if anything, are these ideas, do they feel rooted? Do they feel grounded? Do they feel like our own? Who forged the swords, you know? Who forged these swords? So I think this new moon is coming with a lot of energy, of course, because Uranus just stationed in Gemini, and that comes with some tricky terrain. Bringing this chart forward now to our beautiful new moon here, which will be happening on June 14th around 8 p.m. and Pacific Standard Time. And here's our new moon. We have the sun and the moon, of course, in conjunction. That's what a new moon means. But what makes this particular new moon special is that it's unaspected. It's unaspected. There's nothing connected to this new moon. So it's out here alone, but also very unhinged, right? The free associative, free thinking mind of Gemini is now left to its own devices. And the chaperone is you. You get to train this train of thought with your ideas, with your belief systems as well. So, I mean, really thinking here, where are these beliefs living? Where are these beliefs living? Where are they planted? And how can we go about really planting some beautiful seeds here with Gemini? Right? So what thought patterns, what cycles of belief are you carrying that might not be your own? That's really worth thinking about here. How many of these perspectives truly belong to you? And can we do the work here of bringing the mind to a level of thinking, a level of belief building that feels inherently our own? So those are the ideas to consider in this moment. Those are the perspectives, the points of view. Because there is a world out there where the noise is going to just get louder. And we'll start seeing this with Uranus and Gemini. Like, it will just get louder. Uranus is that planet of revolution. Uranus is the planet that really adds a lot of pressure to whatever archetype it's embodying. And in Gemini, we're talking about ideas. We're talking about concepts. We're talking about belief systems. We're talking about something that comes only from actually connecting with another person. And I think something here to really note, especially with Gemini, is there's two very clear faces of Gemini. There's the face of Gemini, which is like Mercury ruled, of course. Mercury faces the sun, and also there's a face of Mercury that never sees the light of day. So there's a coldness to Gemini, probably a very cold and hot energy to Gemini. And when conversations are flowing and the conversation is feeling really good, then great. But when an opinion goes against a thinking pattern of Gemini, that's where the defenses come on. That's where the coldness turns on. And how quickly it is that we become super defensive around our belief systems, our opinions, our thought patterns, when they're not inherently ours, right? So there's something here about this new moon, especially looking at Mercury and where Mercury lives. This is a Mercury-ruled moon. Mercury is over here in Cancer. So the conversations, the connections have to do with Cancerian themes, which are inherently soft. Can we soften the conversation here? Can we open the hearts? When we're talking about words, right? What worlds are we building with our words? That really matters. Are we building fortresses, echo chambers, or are we building sanctuaries? Are we building sanctuaries? And both of these are very important for us to consider, that we need to make sure that the way we use language, especially as the polarization only continues to be polarized, right? How are we using language here? Are we building safety nets? Are we building containers of care? Are we building communal love? Or are we just feeding into an echo chamber that is continuously divisive? It's important for us to really look at information here with Gemini. That is what Gemini is all about. It's important to look at information, how we receive information, how we filter information, how we process information, if that information is processed. And if it's not processed, it just becomes another sword in that back, right? 10 of Swords. And then the body gets heavier. Like, information has to be processed, deleted, dumped, or integrated. And that's something to really consider here. Mercury in Cancer really wants us to have a deeper conversation with ourselves, to plant seeds of care and nurture. And may that communicate and ripple outward. So although this new moon in Gemini, we think Gemini, so it's like, oh, it's light, right? But at 24 degrees, the final decan of Gemini, we're looking at a tarot card that is quite heavy, right? That's quite heavy. 10 of Swords is not for the faint of heart. But what I love about the 10 of Swords imagery is that even on the horizon, if we look at the horizon, a new dawn, a new day rises, right? I was gonna look here for the 10 of Swords. I should have had this on already, but here we are. We're in conversation. So what do you think, y'all? What for you is coming to the surface here for this new moon in Gemini? What new information, what new data are we collecting? What information's gotta go? Are we building sanctuaries with our words? Or are we building fortresses? And and how quickly, when an opinion, when a thought is challenged, how quickly we go to defend that opinion, right? Here we go. 10 of Swords. Look at this card for a moment. Everybody take a look at this card. It's pretty intense, right? 10 swords impaled on this person. It's not easy. Feels as though we're being stabbed in the back, right? But what is stabbing us in the back? Who is causing that stabbing? Is it self-inflicted? Is it self-inflicted? Is it the algorithm? How are we processing this information? How are we processing the perceptions that are being built by these media machines? And are these perceptions really our own? Very important for us to consider. Are these perceptions our own, or who put that sword in our back? Some of those swords are absolutely self-inflicted and some of them are not. Swords, intellect, it's the mind. And with the 10 of Swords, it is the final card in this minor arcana suit. We go from 1 through 10 with swords, cups, wands, pentacles. And in some of the 10s and some of the suits, they feel lighter, right? 10 of Cups, happily ever after. And that feels really amazing. 10 of Pentacles, a legacy worth building, right? 10 of Wands feels very different as well. We're holding a whole bunch of struggle. We're holding a whole bunch of burdens. And here we go. 10 of Swords. It's different. Where Wands are the spirit, Swords are the mind. So whatever noise is coming to the surface with this new moon, especially with Uranus and Gemini as well, whatever the noise is, whatever this vacuum is, whatever is taking your attention, right? How can we become a better source of influence with the current conditions? Because there's a lot of new information coming out. Like, you look at AI is still going to get a major acceleration through this Uranus and Gemini transit, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. Like, the terrain that we're walking upon is very technological. It's very information based. And every time Uranus has been in Gemini, there's been information warfare of some sort. In the 1940s, we saw code breaking, but we also saw the adoption of living room radio and television eventually. It's very much about communication and connection, which means as the technological void opens even more, and look at the technology available even now with social media and how many people feel burnt out by all the information already. If we're going to crank that heat up, especially with Uranus and Gemini, we're going to need to regulate and be able to discern for ourselves what information is true, what information isn't. And looking again at the Mercury ruler of this chart. Gemini's ruled by Mercury. Here it is in Cancer. So it's communication, but it's watery communication, intuition. And in this day and age where AI and your voice can get cloned in 3 seconds, and this, the veil is thinning between what is real and what isn't, what communicates is probably going to be way more intuitive, right? What communicates here is way more Cancerian, that truth, that intuition, the emotional body, that gut feeling that goes, or yes, or no. That's really important here. So as we explore this Gemini new moon, discerning how many of these swords are truth and how many of these swords are not. A lot of them were impaled into you by another person. Maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, who knows? But they're still there, and they're for you to remove. All right? I think by now we should be getting over whatever this doom and gloomy hump is, right? This is also the final Gemini new moon for about a decade. It's also a super moon as well, a super new moon, which means it's closest to the Earth and still shrouded in darkness. So there's a potency to this new moon that feels inherently different than the other ones. We had the Taurus new moon for a hot minute. Then we had this full moon in Sagittarius, right? So full moon where we were releasing beliefs, and now with this new moon we're planting ideas. What do we want to learn? How can we become students to this moment we're living through? And I think one of the best schools of thought worth exploring and expanding is Mercury in Cancer, right? Like communication with the emotion, communication with intuition, communication through nurturance, through kindness, through love. It's a lot slower. Emotional thinking, right? That's what we're looking at with Mercury in Cancer. Emotional thinking. And that takes time, especially in a world that's like, do you have an opinion? Do you have an opinion? Do you have an opinion? You should have an opinion by now. You should have an opinion by now. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And what if we don't know what we think yet? You know? That's okay. And while we reach for thought patterns and beliefs and meaning makings that feel better in the body, we ask questions. So what questions are we not asking here, folks? Also another beautiful thing to consider, right? All right. So there we have a little bit of a breakdown of this whole lunation. Obviously, we still have some time. We'll be back and we'll talk about this some more in a little while here. But very, very important for you to consider. Gemini is a beautiful, beautiful archetype to work with. Okay? Beautiful to work with. So on that note, we're going to start moving onward and upward to personalized readings here. Okay? So if you would like a little mini reading, unfortunately, we're all booked up for today. But you can absolutely book for the future. It tends to, fill up fairly quickly. So if you would like a reading for the future, then you can go ahead and check out the link in my description on YouTube. Or if you comment chart on Instagram, if you're watching on Instagram, I'll go ahead and I'll send you all of these wonderful offerings that I got. In the meantime, we're completely booked up for today. So readings wise, we have Natasha, we have Diana, we have Kyla, and we have Anita. Natasha, your reading is at 5:30, but if you are in the space, either on YouTube or on Instagram, just let me know. And we can go ahead and get things rolling in that department. But how is this all landing for y'all? What do you think? How is this all landing? Just gonna post this here. All right. What do you think Gemini is? What seed is Gemini planting here? Oh, thank you, baby. My baby's on here on BoobTube. He says, I've never really paid attention to these astrological signs, but every time you share, I learn so much. Yay. It's really, thank you for the sparkles, friends. Thank you for the gifts as well. I see y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Sunshine. Oh, I love that. I'm really starting to understand the YouTube realm. Any questions, any comments, anything coming up in this little breakdown, this mini breakdown of the new moon in Gemini? Just so y'all know, if you haven't already done so yet, if you're not a part of the collective, which is my private membership community, in there, I have your personalized reading based off of your rising sign. You can also listen to your sun sign as well for this lunation. Also, I'll be hosting a workshop for the new moon as well, where we'll dive even deeper, meditate, journal, all the things. That'll happen on Monday the 15th. So, new moon and full moon energies still linger for about 3 days post lunation. So we'll be doing the new moon in Gemini workshop on the 15th. If you want to join that, you got to join the collective. Right now, it's a 14-day free trial. It's only $11.99 a month, and you get all this value. So again, that's linked in my bio. If you're watching on Instagram, you can go to colormecrazy.info, colormecrazy.world/info. It should be in the description as well on YouTube if you are curious about joining my little private membership community of cool astrological weirdos. So there's that. In the meantime, if you have a question that I can answer real quick while we wait for our first reading to show up here, let me know. Okay. Let me just get Natasha's chart information on here in the meantime. Groovy girl, love you, friend. So glad you're here. My Gemini sun and desire to comprehend has me deep in the forest. IRL. How do we turn knowledge into wisdom? I think the best source of wisdom, I would say, especially for Gemini suns, with all of this information as well, and it can get really nervous system dysregulating, right? To receive so much information and like this desire to comprehend. And I think instead of a desire to comprehend, it would best suit all of us, at least in this current chapter of Earth and humanity, to ask more questions. I think so many of us want to get down to the root of something, right? We want to get to the point. We want to get to the thing. We want the answer. We want the purpose. But Gemini doesn't work that way. Gemini is ultimately the sign of multiplicity. It's the twins. It's being able to entertain both and. So in our journey toward comprehension, I would inspire to get to the wisdom. We probably need to ask more questions. So many of the Gemini sessions that I've been having as of lately, sitting with Gemini folks, I've been reminding them that and asking them, well, like, what questions are we not asking? Can we create more space for those questions to come through? Is there a quieter question underneath probably the louder one? Because to try and make sense out of something that is just breaking brains, honestly, especially in this moment, you might be on this side over here being like, wow, this is so easy. Why are we getting this, right? But for someone who's really in it, when that perception is so loud, when that echo chamber is so loud and it's the only thing that they see every single day and the only reality they exercise every single day, it can be hard for a Gemini if they're not curiously entertaining how and why, right? So what questions have we not been asking? That's how we can turn all of this knowledge into wisdom, to really communicate, to really ask those questions, and to engage in meaningful conversation with other people, especially people who challenge you. This is a medicine for myself as well. Sometimes it's hard to be challenged, right? So it's interesting because we might be gaining all this knowledge, but until it's in practice and in conversation and in connection with other people, then it's never going to be sustainable. It's never going to be enough, right? We need challenges, and in these challenges, we need to curiously ask the body, okay, cool, what makes this so, why am I so quick to defend this, And if I were to turn that defensiveness down, what questions would I need to ask to turn that defensiveness down, right? Curiosity is really our biggest anchor right now. And Gemini is all about that. Gemini is curiosity. All right. Another question here from Laura. Have to leave for the moment. So very important to find you. I cherish you. The time you post. You have restored my faith in so much. Oh, thank you, Laura. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Aquarius here. Keep hearing Pluto. One takeaway on what that means. All right. Pluto. Pluto is a planet of death, rebirth. It's the planet of the shadow, right? And the sort of the truth that can exist from us really looking at shadow. Pluto is a generation defining planet. It shakes the collective unconsciousness awake and it makes it more visible. Now, depending on the sign that it is in, will give you a shape of the sort of shadows it's illuminating. Will give you a shape of like, okay, cool. This is what's lurking in the closet. This is what's happening. Like, this is something to look at. This is something to alchemize and to transform. Now, with Aquarius, let's first understand what Aquarius is ultimately at its highest octave. At its highest octave, when Aquarius is really doing the Aquarius thing and evolutionarily, revolutionary, contributing to society at large, that sentence in itself is really what Aquarius is all about. Evolution, changing the status quo. And the only change that could come from like really looking at the status quo, the terms and conditions of like societal expectations, and then standing outside of it long enough to know you in it, you in these rules, you in these conditions. Do they feel just? Do they feel inclusive? That's another really great Aquarius word, inclusivity. Do they speak power to the people? And in that, we start painting and seeing what Aquarius at its highest octave is all about, which is people, the collective, coming together as one. Now, disclaimer here, coming together as one through the commodification of spirituality, especially on in these social media streets, has turned into, let's just become one and just go live in a commune somewhere and like, let's just all be one in community and just like one. I just want to be one. We're all the same. But we're not. And that's what makes this life so beautiful. That yes, of course, the aim here is to eventually get to a state of non-duality where that oneness can exist. But oneness doesn't require all of us to be wearing the same clothes, eating the same food, becoming a hive mind, becoming the same person. No, we're looking at individuation here when it comes to Aquarius. To be an individual amongst the collective. That's the sauce. That's the jam here. So every time Pluto enters Aquarius, it shakes this like power to the people conversation. It forces us to look at social conformity, these rules, societal expectations, and it forces us to challenge them as a means of decentralizing the power dynamics to really give power, freedom, and authority back to the people. Now, we need rules, we need structures as well. Like, we're not looking at full-on libertarian Aquarius, like that's not it. Although the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we saw the birth of modern-day democracy, where the Declaration of Independence was written, the Bill of Rights was written, and this, the American colonists fleeing the quote-unquote tyranny of the UK shouted the words, liberty, freedom, justice, right? They were tired. They wanted to become sovereign. They wanted to be a sovereign nation where people ruled the people. And in this, the Bill of Rights was formed with all these checks and balances, the judicial system, the legislative system, the executive branch, all these things, Congress, Senate. and they wrote in beautiful calligraphy, "We the people," right? But it was "we the people," equal rights to the people, asterisk, some people, right? So, of course, there were slaves and everything. But even if we were to remove the slavery conversation or that whole thing, which it's kind of impossible, and just look at the sentiment of this Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, all of that, if we're to look at the foundation of it, it's pretty radical, man, right? Now the Pluto's coming back with receipts and going, cool, here are the receipts. Are we really doing it? Are we really doing the Aquarian thing? Or have we become a carbon copy of the very thing we were running away from? The oppressor, the tyranny we were running away from. So that's where, boom, we get revolution, we get war, we get the people kind of, boom, through Pluto waking up going, holy shit, hold on. Same, but different, right? So that's what we're looking at here. And it's the Aquarius, any Aquarius sun, moon, rising, like really trusting your perception, really trusting you're on the outside looking in-ness, and like start talking about it. What does collectivism really look like in today's day and age? How do we decentralize the power a bit more? How do we give power to the people? Now that can be done through artistry, through opening up a food bank, through who knows? There's many ways to participate in revolution, right? It doesn't mean we're sold this idea of like revolution means we gotta fight. Like there's different ways to fight. So although other people will be, responding and reacting in their own way, don't feel as though that's how you have to respond. Think outside of the box. Especially with Aquarius, okay? Especially with Aquarius. All right. On that note, let's do some personal readings. Very first reading we got here is Natasha. Natasha, this is for you, dear. Whether you are on Instagram or on YouTube or maybe catching the replay, Into the Woman, this is you, okay? Now, the very first thing I want to mention here is so much of this chapter in your life, especially with both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, right? So much of this chapter in your life is about leadership, really taking charge. When you think of yourself as a leader, what does that really look like for you in today's day and age? Now, Neptune and Saturn are currently in the 12th house for you. 12th house is spirituality. It's the ethereal realm. It's what exists beyond physical time, space, and reality. It's where spirit guides communicate with us. It's where ancestors communicate with us. It's what happens when we sleep. Where do we go to? Where does consciousness go? Right? It's also the house of solitude. It's the house of endings. It's the house of death. It's what happens right before we go into that first house and we're back. We're here again. Now, Aries in the 12th house, and with clients who I've been sitting who have Aries in the 12th house, there's this very interesting through line with all of them that in this chapter, dreams are getting louder. Spirit is making themselves more known, maybe in the dream realm, maybe in the astral realm. Images have been coming online, if you have Aries in the 12th house, of like sort of like angels and demons and this realm, this perceptual realm that might look a little scary for some people, right? And there's room to probably say here that sure, in the 3D realm right here on Earth, there is a tension. There is warfare. Warfare is happening. We're starting to see it all around us. What's happening in Iran, in Palestine, like, is everywhere, okay? Now, the war that we're seeing in the 3D, I would contemplate if in another dimension that probably can't see with our eyes, if a similar mirroring is happening in those realms. What's to say that there isn't spiritual warfare happening here as well? And now there's people who might consciously know that and, have had visions. That's 12th house territory, the house of visions and premonitions. There's some people who don't realize they might be unconsciously contributing to a feeling of warfare as well. So in that, Aries here in the 12th house is really wanting to test the limits of your courage in regards to the spiritual realm. There's a lot more to the conversation that we have not fully giving ourselves permission to explore. So this would be a really good time to start exploring maybe astral projection, lucid dreaming, breath work, holotropic, like states of consciousness that help you maybe tap into something perceptual that we cannot see with the naked eye, and to courageously go into those realms, to go to the places no one's gone before or gone yet, or maybe they've gone there, but it hasn't fully been explored. Leading me to the next point here about Aries is that they are the pioneer of the zodiac. They want to get someplace first. And sure, in an egoic sense, like that can sound like, all right, calm down. But getting someplace first, making your mark in this lifetime is probably going to be the most soul gratifying work you can do. Okay? So I encourage you to really start thinking here of that spiritual realm, asking God, source, universe, creator, whatever it is, to start communicating. What do you need to know? Where do you need to go? What does your consciousness need to do here? Because on top of all of this, how you natally open doors, how you naturally open doors, attract abundance, wealth, health, beauty, blessings, all those wonderful, beautiful things that make us feel super connected to life, again, is in the 12th house, Jupiter, that planet of abundance, in Pisces in the 12th house. So you want to open up doors. We got to go deeper into the subconscious self to dissolve the ego here is what it's all about. To make the ego probably healthier. We're not trying to kill the ego. A lot of people, we hear that, and especially in the plant medicine spaces and whatnot, ego death, right? But that's not what we're looking for here. It's not an ego death. It's an ego integration. It's a healthy ego, a spiritually informed ego. And that's the sort of leadership that I'd like to see. And speaking of leadership, pointing to your North Node, your North Star, what you're meant to grow into in this lifetime, where it's not the most comfortable, but trust and believe, if we do the North Node work, life would feel very gratifying. North Node in Aries. Courage, bravery, action, impulse. It's to walk up to the cliff, heart racing, palms sweaty, and going, okay, I'm gonna jump, I'm so scared. And you jump anyways, right? To take a leap of faith. And this idea that, one day I'll be ready. One day, maybe I need the right partner. Maybe I need the right partner. Maybe when I get the right partner, or when I'm married, when I'm this, when the work is better, when the work is aligned, or whatever. It's like negative. Courage, bravery. It doesn't just happen to you. It doesn't just come. You're not just like ready all of a sudden. You throw yourself in and you trust that some form of knowing on the other side of whatever it is, wherever you are currently, some form of knowing is on the other side. So with this North Node here, what we're looking at, especially with this Aries age, Aries era we're living in, is an integration of courage, to test the limits of our courage, to go deep into the subconscious spiritual realms in that 12th house. Maybe you find something there and you go, guys, we got to talk about this, right? Throw in your sun sign, your source of sanity in Taurus. It's about simplifying the spiritual in a way that the body can actually register it. You know, you go into that 12th house, it can get super woo. Super woo to the point of spiritual psychosis. Like, yes, it's wonderful to entertain the ethereal realms, but we got to bring it into the ground. We got to bring it into the earth. What purpose is this ethereal realm serving, if not to help us meet this 3D moment with full trust and surrender? So the sun here in Taurus is about simplification. It's about comfort. It's about also becoming a masterful earth translator of that ethereal realm and taking charge with it. Perhaps there's work here for you to do in working in relationship with other people, helping others tap into quote unquote spiritual gifts. I hesitate to use the term spiritual gifts and whatnot because I think in these sort of spiritual spaces, we've diluted it as being this sort of thing that we have to all embark on, and if your spiritual gifts aren't like at this level, then they're not spiritual enough. No, sometimes the spiritual gift is in working with the earth, right? And that's spiritual. Sometimes the spiritual gift is in being a mother. Sometimes the spiritual gift is in being a caregiver and opening up one's heart to extend that love and care to another person. So I think there's a lot here for you with Aries in this 12th house, eventually activating that North Node in Aries, where we're demystifying the spiritual realm and translating it in a way that we can actually touch and hold. You know? And that's only something that comes from really going deeper and deeper and deeper and going, hold on, there's a through line in all of this. So many people like, take me out of here. I'm ready to go into the 4D. I'm ready to go to the 5D. Extraterrestrials, take me. And it's like, can we also recognize that this 3D life is such a gift, right? This earth is a gift. So looking at your chart, there's something in that. There's a legacy worth building that deals with translating the spiritual into the earth. Making spiritual conversations practical and easy to understand and engage in, to make the complex practical. Okay? Okay? So that is a realm worth thinking about. Thinking about you outside of relationships, the things you're interested in right now, where curiosity is leading you, let it lead you in that direction. Your inherent worth, your value right now is going through deep excavation. We're exploring. So curiosity again is that anchor. Where are your curiosities leading you, Natasha? Where are they leading you? Where are you going with this? And how can we tally ho and travel forth in a way that like, cool, this scares the F out of me, but I would rather do this than do nothing at all. How can we test the limits of our courage to do the things that terrify us and yet we know we really gotta do? That's the North Node in Aries track. Autonomy, reclamation of oneself, free from the influence of others. And it doesn't mean we're not meant to work with other people. That South Node in Libra, yeah, we're still meant to have relationships. Relationships are still a focus in this lifetime. But to also know that there is a self. There's the beautiful willingness of like offering oneself to another, to a partnership, to a collaboration. But also like, to what extent, you know, do maybe we attract a relationship that we want that action. There's a fire there. It doesn't mean that the fire should always be there either, because we need both. And I think that is that Libra conversation through that South Node, is the both and. Yes, there's people that we should be comfortable with. We do compromise with. And there's also opportunities here for, cool, where do we want to take this? What's the next level of this? Tell me your fears in this current chapter in your life. And how do we work through this together to get to the next level? How can we, in partnership, in collaboration, test the limits of our courage together? Okay? Okay. Well, that's what I have for you, Natasha. Thank you for your contributions. All the many wonderful things. We are moving onward and upward to our next reading here, which is Diana. Diana, amateur gold. Amateurs, you gold. Something like that. You're up on the docket, babes. So let me go ahead and pull up your chart here real quick, please and thank you. Hello, darling. Chicago. All right. Let's see what we got here, please and thank you. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So, a couple of things that are coming up already. A couple of things are coming up while I'm already looking at your chart here. First is this first house. Like any astrologer that opens up your chart, they're going to look at this first house. Like, look at this Capricorn stellium, baby. Look at this Capricorn stellium. We got Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, Mercury, all up here in Capricorn. So there's a standard, right, in this lifetime, a standard of excellence that you inherently come into this world with. We want to strive. We want to grow. We have a very clear legacy for us to build in this lifetime. But this legacy can very much at times get a little distorted, especially with a South Node in Virgo. Okay? South Node Virgo, it is your nodal return right now. The nodes are currently sitting in both Virgo and Pisces. Right now, it's like in close conjunction with that South Node in Virgo. So South Node in Virgo, first let's talk about Virgo. Virgo is, of course, it's analytical. It loves boxes. It loves organization, all that stuff. But ultimately, Virgo is the sign of service. Virgo is the sign of contribution, right? It wants to do good work. So we take this sort of legacy building Capricorn energy of needing a very clear mountain to climb, right? While also with Virgo, this mountain that we're climbing can get too obsessive, right? The shadow of Virgo is analysis paralysis. So let's say you know the mountain you're meant to climb, but you're like, but is this right? Is this right? Can I trust you? Can I trust this person? Again, we're seeing this through line of trust, especially with the moon in Scorpio. Trust doesn't come easy to you. It takes a minute for that trust to be earned. Throw in a sun in Aquarius, your source of sanity is that in working with the collective. Again, in doing service and doing good work, working with the community. But in that, I think there's something worth exploring here on we want to be involved in community. We want to work with collective, but we don't know how to trust collective. Maybe we have too high of a standard when it comes to co-creating and collaborating with other people. So yes, we have a very clear vision. Yes, there is this goal, this mountain to climb. It's very Aquarian informed, which is to help the greater good, right? To break free of these chains and to liberate ourselves. Absolutely. But we're missing the softness as well. I think with South Node Virgo, it's like, okay, cool, I want to fix the problem and I want to fix the problem now. I got to fix the problem now. I got to fix it right now. I got to do it now, right? But we're looking at delayed gratification when it comes to Capricorn. We're looking at maturing into a sense of self and intentional service through time. And what is time? You know, this is that North Node in Pisces medicine where, you know what, Virgo, take a seat because we got time. Take a seat, Virgo, we got time. And Virgo's like, what do you mean we got time? We got to do this now. There's a deadline. And Pisces goes, what deadline? There is no deadline. Sure, the only thing guaranteed is that we die. But we'll be back. Why so much pressure? Can't you see that all this fixing, all of this change has always been? It just happens to be our turn. And in the meantime, instead of contributing the anxiety and working from a place of anxiety, can we work from a place of love, of kindness, of empathy, of understanding? It's time for us to change how we work. And that's the thing with Capricorn. You came into this world to work. Work steers the ship of your entire chart. There is this aspect of you that's just like wanting to get better and better and better and better, to be a better version of self and therefore be a better something for the collective greater good, right? But in that, we stub our toe because we're reaching for a standard of excellence or perfection that's impossible, you know? Perfection isn't the end game. Perfection is the thing to strive for, but it shouldn't be the dominant source through which we reach. We can strive for this mountaintop. And at this mountaintop, at the peak, we might get closer to this Aquarian feeling of liberation and freedom for all, power to the people, collectivism, community, all these sort of things, right? But we don't get there. And that's the point. Where is there? And how can we shift the conversation of getting there in a way that actually keeps us soft and open and surrendering to the best way we can be of service? Like looking at this South Node in Virgo, it's up here in the 8th house. So there is this obsession with the things that are not working, with the shadows, with the things that are quote unquote wrong. You can't help but see them. But can we learn to love them? That is the North Node Pisces reach. Instead of trying to be the fixer of all the things broken, right? Can we be an embracer of the things that are beautiful as well? This world, as worlding as it is so perfect. I think of Ram Dass when he says, like, isn't it all so perfect though? And that's the North Node Pisces medicine. Like, isn't it all in constant ebb and flow of balance? And even in its imbalance, it's striving to make itself balance. And sure, we get to this moment of balance, of peace, but then, whoo, how quickly it topples again. In an instant, in a flash. And in that, we start getting a picture, a glimpse of that Pisces medicine. There is no escape from suffering. There is no escape from pain. There is no permanence to joy or bliss or nirvana. There only is, right? There only is, and the isness is found in pure presence. From that place, we effectively know how to respond. South Node Virgo reacts. Oh, something's uncomfortable. React. How do I fix it? North Node Pisces responds. It'll get done. All the work you want to do, that mountain you want to climb, the legacy you want to build, it will come. But it's not going to come to you the way you think about it. It's not going to come to you through sheer force and control and manipulation. It'll only come from you embracing and surrendering to change. Ultimately, Pisces, the archetype of Pisces, it's the last sign of the zodiac. It's what happens right before we die and we take that last breath. So when you look at the trajectory, at the timeline of your life, already knowing that we're going to leave this world and there are still going to be things we wished we could have experienced. There's going to be still regrets that we carry, conversations that haunt us, memories that inspire us, the whole spectrum of it all, the whole spectrum of life. And if you were to take yourself to that moment, expand and see and witness the full spectrum of your life, what would you want it to look like? Is it one where you were just obsessed and trying to control and trying to fix and trying to manipulate and trying to make things better? Or is it one where you're like, wow, I did ultimately come into this world to serve and I really gave it my all? Softening. That is the North Node Pisces medicine. It's the great softening. So how do we do this good work while also remaining soft? Well, that's a paradox for you to explore yourself. Where's the love in this work? Where's the compassion in this work? Because instead of obsessing over, you're broken, you're impure, looking at the fucked upness as the thing that connects all of us. We all carry shame. We all carry guilt. We all carry within us a capacity to cause harm to others. Whatever shadow we're looking at as being the problem is a part of the collective human experience. We all carry that within us, intolerance within us. And the only medicine for this is, great, how can I still demonstrate love? How can I still demonstrate forgiveness? Even amidst chaos, even amidst the fucked upness of it all, right? And that's truly the embodiment of Christ consciousness. That's why Jesus is attributed to the fish, right? The Jesus fish. Pisces is what? A fish. The birth of Christianity and how it started to spread during a Piscean age. And in that we see, yes, the death of Jesus Christ, but also the rebirth of that wisdom. And how sometimes it's distorted, right? But still at its core, at its root, it's about love. It's about compassion. It's about forgiveness. It's about justice. It's about fairness. Absolutely. But justice and fairness does not need to shout to be heard, does not need to pick apart the other to be understood. Fairness and justice are demonstrated. They're embodied. And that stillness, it registers. That's what we're looking at here. Understanding that we are just another cog on this wheel and we will die and the work will still be there for you to do long after we've expired. And in that, how can we responsibly carry this great work right here, right now? That's the medicine. Being a fish is hard. Sometimes you're swimming up against a current, and sometimes you're just drifting. It's both. It's both. Can we accept both? Can we accept both? All right. That's what I have for you, love. Thank you, Diana, for your contributions, all the many wonderful things. Yeah, there will be a recording. This is all being, archived. So if you go over to my YouTube channel, you'll find it. It's located on a playlist called The Chart Room. So you don't worry, you can catch the replay of it after. For friends who are just joining me, if you would like your own reading, unfortunately we're booked up for tonight, but you can sign up for next week if you'd like. We fill up spots quite quickly. You can drop a chart in Instagram in the chat, comment chart on Instagram, and I'll send you the links for all of this. If you're watching on YouTube, all the links to my offerings are in the description. So there's a little bit of both and. Okay. Next up on my list, I have Kyla. Kyla, you are next. Just give me a second here to pull up your chart. All right. Espérate. All right, let's do this, Kyla. Kyla, wherever you are, whether you're watching the replay or not, here's a message for you, dear. Let me just capture your notes here real quick. I love this. I love this. All right. So, right off the jump, Kyla, first things first is looking at your south node. Okay, now in everyone's chart, I don't even need the exact time of your birth. Everyone has a north and a south node. Now your south node, which is up here, this little upside down horseshoe, is your karma. It's the past life. It's the energy you come into this world with, and you will see remnants and flickers of it throughout your everyday life, right? And then your north node is the North Star. It's the stretch. It's what we're meant to grow into. And it's down here. It's that horseshoe pointing north, right? Looking up. Now, first and foremost, before we dive into what these north and south nodes mean in that particular sign, let's break down the archetype first, and then we'll bring in the planet, then we'll bring in the celestial body, then we'll bring in that component. So Aquarius, Aquarius is a weirdo. Like everybody in astrology talks about Aquarius being a weirdo, and thinking about when Aquarius comes into the zodiac wheel will really help us. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, in that order, they're the act 3 of the zodiac. So we have act 1, which is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. We're the babies, like we're at the very beginning of something here. Then we got act 2, which we have Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. We're the teenagers of the zodiac, teenagers of the zodiac. And then we have the elders of the zodiac, act 3, which is Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So by the time we get to act 3, we're starting to get into winter. We're starting to get into an ending of something. We probably have a little more life experience, a little more wisdom. this transcends age, because there is that energetic spiritual body, which, this idea of like having an old soul comes from, right? So Sagittarius, comes into this act 3 and is going like, cool, we're all gonna die, right? Each of these people, they all come in with that feeling, we're all gonna die. And Sagittarius is like, how do we keep going? What do we believe in? What about faith? What about hope? And they embark on this quest to puzzle piece together the meaning of life. They open themselves up and they go, cool, we've done our childhood years, we've done our teenager years, and like, now I'm ready to learn about the secrets of life. There's another connection here, something that requires something more than just face-to-face interaction. I want to understand the language of life, the art of life, the philosophy of life. So that's why Sagittarius is that centaur. They're directing that arrow to the sky here. Interestingly for you, your sun is in Sagittarius. So how you find a sense of sanity, Kyla, is through meaning making, belief building, optimism, hope, faith that comes from something other, right? That comes from synchronicities. That's a very Sagittarius experience. Synchronicity. There's the universe is communicating all the time. And the philosophies we build from that, the religions we've built from that, right? Talking about building. Now that we have a meaning-making practice, now that we believe, what do we build with it? We got to build a church, right? We got to build a church. And this is where Capricorn comes in. They're the architect of that Act 3, the elders. And they build with their hands, with their intention, climbing this mountain, building something truly remarkable that is witnessed and recognized and adored by the world, right? So they build this sacred temple of belief. They build a legacy. They build a home. They build a career. Very Capricorn. And it's the plan, it's the structure, it's the scaffolding, it's the system, right? And now we build this church, this temple for everybody to walk into and belief build and come together as one. And, there's these rules, right? There's these commandments, right? And in comes Aquarius, walking into this temple, walking into this space, and then going, I don't think this is all of it. I don't think this is all of it. I don't think this is for me. I see how this can be for you, but it's not for me. There's much more to this than just, coming into this world, building a temple, and being indoctrinated into a religion or belief, and understanding that religion takes on many shapes and sizes. For some people, sports are a religion. For some people, sports cars are a religion, or being a parent or being a mother is a religion of its own right. This theme of indoctrination and how sometimes it has the best interest of the collective in mind, and sometimes it distorts, it contorts our reality. We get so fixed on idealism. We get so fixated on ideology that we forget that there's a lot more to this time, physical space, and reality than meets the eye. And yes, on a surface level, we can build a temple, we can build a kingdom, we can build the things, we can build that legacy. But does it really serve everyone? Or does it only serve the select few, right? And this is where Aquarius comes in and goes, no, we need something that's decentralized. Because I'm going into a temple and I'm listening to this preacher and I'm listening to this pastor, and half of us don't even know how to read this Bible, right? Half of us don't even know how to read a book. We absorb information from other people just because they're a little charming, just because they're a little charismatic, without fully questioning the integrity behind the language and the words and the beliefs they preach. Okay? So that's Aquarius. It's to be on the outside looking in. Now, At its highest octave, Aquarius is about being on the outside looking in and just like, whoo, shaking things up and really creating systems conceptually through language, agreements that help the collective truly feel like a collective. It truly helps the collective live a life where we can still be across the room from someone who is different and still respect them as an individual and still see them as a sibling, as a brother, as a whatever. Okay? So there's that. Now, the South Node paints a picture of Aquarius in a different way. It amplifies the shadow of Aquarius. And the shadow of Aquarius is one of two things. Either we submitted to social conformity, we felt forced by it, we didn't see an alternative, a different way. Looking at the house that this Aquarius transit is in paints a picture of the environment, the story, the environment, the set design through which this archetype express itself. And in the 9th house, we're talking about religion, belief, university, worldview, travel, religion, all those things, right? Indoctrination. So one of two things happened. Either you submitted because everyone around you was trying to force religion, dogma, who knows, whatever beliefs onto you, or you were so detached from it. Maybe you played by the rules, but you were like, once I turn a certain age, phew, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to go up into the mountain. I'm going to leave. I'm getting out of here. So you might have played by the rules as a means of survival. And in that, you might be done with the religious indoctrination and all that stuff. But I would question, like, do we still feel connected though? Have we outcasted ourselves almost to our detriment here? That's the South Node Aquarius trap, is to be so detached from meaning, from connection, that life feels dull. Life feels detached. Life feels disconnected. So the medicine of this South Node is the North Node, which is in Leo, Aquarius's perfect opposite. And Aquarius happens to be that charming, charismatic, leader where people go, ooh. It happens to be, that is the charisma that people see when they enter a church, or when they see someone preaching what they preach. Look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at the audience that I'm captivating here, right? I'm in very many ways on my own pedestal in my own church and temple, spreading the good word of astrology, right? Interestingly enough, for me, my South Node is in Leo. So the shadow of Leo is like needing too much validation, waiting for validation, associating validation with belonging. The medicine of South Node Leo is to do North Node Aquarius, which is forget about validation, get to the honesty, get to the truth. Express the truth, express your weird. Go against the grain, who cares? Like, be weird and trust that the right people will find you. Right? Now with North Node Leo, we're looking at, let's not outcast ourselves. Let's trust what we witnessed on the outside looking in and make that visible. Make our discernment visible. Make it witnessed. It's to create a trend from that unique vision. In the 3rd house of communication, we have something to express. We have something to share, Kyla. We're meant to be seen. We're meant to be witnessed in our divine truth, in the discerning of this is fake, this is deceptive, this is manipulative, and here is the solution. Here's something that feels good. Here's something more universal, more inclusive, less dogmatic, more joyful, dare I say. Which is what Leo is ultimately about. It's joy. It's happiness. It's expression. So that's the tension here with that North and South Node. You want to feel of purpose? Confirmation sneeze. You want to feel a purpose, you got to be seen. What are we being seen in? In our weird, in our out-of-the-box thinking, in everything that we witness in that ninth house territory, making that visible and communicating it, healing religious trauma that comes from indoctrination, and being seen, expressing, communicating what you believe in, what you see in the shadows. That is the medicine for you, and that's something worth contemplating. All right? All right. That's what we have for you, Kyla. Thank you so much for sitting and listening and witnessing. For anybody and everybody else, you might have, the same north and south node flipped or reversed, whatever. It's worth thinking about. Okay? Very, very much so worth thinking about. Cool. So we have one more personalized reading for today, and it's Anita. Anita. Wherever you are in the world, this message is for you. Give me a quick second here to get this information on here. And thank you for the bless yous. Great. Let's get your location. All right, Anita, baby Anna. This message is for you, dear. Let's see, what do we got going on here? Yeah. Yeah. Great. All right, Anita. So I hear that there's some health issues, some things that are happening here. What are these health issues trying to communicate to your body? There's stomach problems, all of that. And right away, when I hear health, I zoom in on the sixth house of health, sixth house of wealth. Sure, sixth house of the day in, day out, unglamorous routine work of preparing ourselves for the world, being of service in good ways to this world. Now, with your sun here in Virgo, source of sanity, first and foremost, I would say that there is a belief here that is getting in the way. I'm looking at what's squaring this sun in Virgo, Saturn in Sagittarius here. So there is a limiting belief. Saturn being the planet of limitations, Sagittarius being the sign of belief, in the ninth house of belief, right? In the ninth house of worldview, how we see the world at large. So there might be this belief that maybe the world is out to get you, or other people are out to get you, right? And that is clunking things up, Anita. That's getting in the way. Now, when Virgo is super nervous, it's an earth sign, right? When Virgo is super nervous, the body responds very clearly. The body does get sick. There are a lot of Virgos that I've known in my life who are just like spiraling in anxiety all the time because they think something is wrong. Maybe something wrong with them. Maybe something wrong with what they contribute and their value and their worth. And in that distortion, the body creates illness, right? So we gotta look at what that belief is. Right? We got to look at the belief that is getting in the way here. We got to start thinking more positively, I would say. Saturn here adds a sort of gray cloud to Sagittarius, kind of like Eeyore. And it's because ultimately a positive belief system is something you're meant to earn in this lifetime, right? It's supposed to be something you claim for yourself in this lifetime. So instead of this sort of Eeyore, it's very Eeyore energy, Saturn and Sagittarius, right? The Eeyore energy of like, well, this is what happens. This is where I'm at. This is how I am, and blah, 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 blah. That the body registers and responds. So your body is communicating to you what you believe about yourself. That is what your stomach is telling you, right? Now, thankfully, the medicine here with that sun in Virgo is skill building, building skills with the body. What sort of body practices are you engaged in? What sort of skills are you building to build awareness with your body, right? And doing this every single day to an almost discipling degree. Virgo is devout. They're the monk of the zodiac, the nun of the zodiac. And it's about purity, right? And sometimes that purity is a little distorted for Virgo. That standard of perfection gets really wonky. But to be pure in one's body, to be pure in thought, to be pure in emotional awareness, that is a muscle worth stretching with this sun in Virgo. All right. Natasha, I already did your reading, love. You can go back and watch the replay on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, just so you know. So, sun in Virgo, we're building skills. In fact, skill building is your source of sanity. Skill building is how you find yourself like, okay, all is well in this world. So, in this healing of the stomach and the body and the things here, how can the body, what skills are worth building to help alchemize this in a way that feels productive? And through the alchemization, through the body work, every single day you should be showing up to some body-based practices here. And that'll be the remedy, the solve to that Saturn in Sagittarius placement, which is like, oh man, all of this happens to me, and I believe this, and I believe that. All right? So that's the first thing I would offer you in regards to this reading. The other component here is looking at Mercury, which lives in Leo. So if we keep ignoring the body, some way, shape, or form, Mercury in Leo eventually screams to be heard, shouts to be heard. There's a leak here in what we're offering, and that leak is inherently tied and tethered to other people. Bringing in your South Node in Libra. Your relationships really matter, Anita. They're really important to you. You have Venus in close conjunction with it as well, so your values are very Libra based. It's being in connection, allowing, giving other people that access to be a mirror of some sort, right? But with South Node in Libra, that mirror is distorted. Okay? It's the shadow of Libra. The shadow of Libra is that people-pleasing tendency, right? Now, compromising, really enmeshing and building, collaborating, becoming something with others is really beautiful. That allowance is very beautiful. But when you're not including yourself in that conversation as well, that is where it gets really wonky, and that is where your North Node in Aries comes in. What do you want, Anita? Not what do I want that other people would see me as being inherently good. No, that's not what we're looking at. We're not looking at other people's perception of us and the work and who we are as an individual. We're looking at self with Aries. Can we bring self to the conversation? And I would say the body responding here, the body communicating in the way that it's doing, is because we're probably not including ourselves enough. Okay? I'm not saying cut off all your relationships. I'm not saying self-love. Like, no, we need communal love. We need partner-based love as well. That needs to be there. And also self-love too. Sure. Self-care. Sure. There was this quote. I think it was Brene Brown. Yeah. And she was talking about relationship dynamics, and like this idea that all relationships are 50-50 is skewed. You know, sometimes it's 20-80. Sometimes it's, babe, all I got is 30 and all I got is 30. All right, how do we make this work? Sometimes you're both showing up as a 10. So this concept that it's always 50-50 is an illusion, right? And she also talks about how a relationship, and now this is not just partnerships, it's not just, you know, your boyfriend, your partner, whoever that is. This is all connections, friendships, all the things, collaborations, business partnerships, all of that. That's the 7th house territory. That's Libra. But she talks about how a relationship is as healthy as the least healthiest person in the relationship. I'll say that one more time. That a relationship is as healthy as the least healthiest person in the relationship. Okay? So, I would say here, maybe looking at your body and how it's responding and how much we're kind of just like overflowing into these connections because we're trying to find a sense of belonging with these connections. Well, maybe if they love me, maybe they won't leave me, whatever that is. Maybe really looking at your health and your body's response to this outpour, this leak, as being, okay, cool, I'm not well. And I need to get better. I get to get better. And working, contributing to these partners, to these connections from that place feels different than showing up sick and still like trying to give it 100%. Still yearning for that validation, that connection, that deep intimacy. But meanwhile, the body is responding. The body is sick. The body is responding and sick for a reason, because we're not caring for self. We keep pouring into these connections, into these relationships, expecting some reciprocity in return, which, hey, reciprocity is great. Reciprocity in relationship absolutely exists. And what about extending that same amount of compassion and care to the body? To the self. That is this North Node in Aries in the 1st house of self. It does not get clearer than this. There's no escaping you. There's no escaping the self. Take yourself out to a movie date. Take yourself out to a massage. The sort of love and care you're waiting to receive from that other person, extend it to yourself. It's not selfish to do so. In fact, we show other people how to love us by how we love ourselves. So we need both. There is this affinity here for relationship and partnership, absolutely, especially with Libra up here in that 7th house. Relationships are really important to you. They are going to be a pretty major theme in your entire life. But we also need to know who we're bringing into relationship as well. And right now, the body needs some regeneration. It needs some health and wellness. It needs some stretches, it needs some walks, it needs some movement, it needs some skills, it needs some yoga, some qigong, some tai chi, whatever it is. You need both. And trust, you'll start seeing how your relationships, they shift. All right? The wealth and health of your relationships are directly correlated with the wealth and health of your own body. Okay? Got to take care of you. All right. Well, on that note, my friends, that's the way the cookie crumbles. We're all done. We're all set. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me in this transmission. I see you. I value you. I witness you. I treasure you. If you'd like to book a reading in the future and you're watching on Instagram, comment chart, and I will go ahead and send you all the information. If you're watching on YouTube, all of my booking links and offerings are in the description down below. Thank you for being here. If you happen to have missed your reading, the replay is on my YouTube channel, Color Me Crazy TV. It's also linked in my bio on Instagram. You'll find a playlist called The Chart Room, which is what this is all about. You've entered the chart room, and all of the replays are in there. Find your reading and see what happens. All right. So right now I am live on Thursdays. So there is that as well. I'm hopping on Saturdays, but I'm currently changing some of the timing to also create more space for myself. Speaking about that whole thing. So I think we're changing some days around, because before it was Thursday and Saturday, but I'm thinking of switching it to like Tuesday and Thursday, maybe at different times. But yeah, I still like to keep an early slot and one a little later. But right now, definitely committing to Thursdays at this time. Make sure you have your notifications, all of that set up so you never miss one of my lives. And on that note, we're done. We're all set. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. I love you, and we'll see each other very soon. Say goodbye to everyone in the space before heading out. Witness each other. Even if you're watching the replay, extend that love and care to yourself, to each other. Understanding that when we send these intentions, it ripples back out to us. Okay? I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.